cure for chocolate cake. So guy showed up, became aware of a guy with a chocolate cake, but he had a very sinister look and a long butcher knife in his hand coming after you. So he forced you to eat chocolate cake, and you were so concentrating and fearful the whole time of the sinister look and the knife at your throat. Couldn't enjoy chocolate cake, which was one of your favorite. And now you can't look at chocolate cake without these associations of fear being forced. And if a man you have a relationship offers you chocolate cake, all of a sudden his vision is overlaid with a memory of a sinister look and a knife behind his back, and you draw away from him, but really trying to get away from the experience and those feelings. There is a cure for this. And the cure is easy. Well, let's say it's simple, but not necessarily that easy, and not necessarily can be done all at once. But what you do is you go back when you're alone sometime, replay the whole incident from the very beginning before you saw this person coming with the chocolate cake, and you were just living, walking, or whatever you're doing. And then you see a man looking sinister, but he's got a chocolate cake. And now you become fearful, not of the chocolate cake, but of him. So you have to separate the two. It's like when you have create a movie, you have soundtracks, You have one of the train coming, another one going, a person talking, and one of a visual of the train, and another one of the, whatever. And you can separate them in the editor process, right? And you can remove one. And in this case, in life, you can't remove one. There's no delete button, but you can separate them and their effect. And so you want to see what your fear is, the fear tract of what it is, because you're carrying it around. You're nurturing it. And that's why it's still present in you. That's why you can still feel the fear. It's because you're actually actively giving it life. And what needs to be done is that you feel the fear in its fullness and realize that the threat is no longer present. The fear reaction, which you're now carrying around, isn't necessary because there's no cause there. Now, when you go out in public again, you may feel this fear in a different way. You may feel vulnerable because you've learned that you are. And you have to accommodate this by, when you're going out, of making sure that you're safe so that you're not in that position again, so you don't encounter another time when you'll have to deal with stopping the fear again from that situation. So there's no guarantees about what's going to happen tomorrow, that you might encounter a fearful situation for any number of reasons. It might not be chocolate cakes this time. It might be, flying horses or something. I don't know. You can't guarantee, but you can take care of this particular incident so that it doesn't continually affect you and all of your other functionings in life, that are associated with it. And so you play the tape and you see where the fear arouses, what it's from, what's causing it, what you're fearful of and experiencing the fear. You can't just say, oh, I'm fearful. No, you have to fully experience it as you're actually reliving it without any filters on it. So this is not something you can necessarily do the first time. You may have to get used to experiencing the fear in its fullness again, particularly if it's very traumatic. But it's the fear itself that you're carrying around. If you're carrying around some imagery that was obscene or caused you fear, then you've got to deal with that on another tract. And you have to get in with that, because when you have a wound that's festering and hasn't been healed properly for some time, years or whatever, or you have a leg that was broken and it wasn't set right and it's now, at an angle or something and causing you pain, the only way you can do is to re-break it. The only way you can do is open up the wound again, take a knife and open it up and clean it out. And it is painful, but, you've got to clean it out, wash it out, painful, and then put it together and sew it back up. And then it becomes healing. And then there may only be a scar there, but there'll be no pain left if it's dealt with thoroughly in this fashion. Again, it takes a bit of experience with any particular incident to figure out how to ameliorate and deal with the various pains and damage that was caused and now has been made worse over time, because it's, kind of permeated the rest of your personality, maybe the rest of your synapses in your brain, and maybe located in other areas. And so getting at all the vestiges of this experience, unfortunate things and aspects of it, can be take some time and certainly is going to take some pain. And in order to wrestle with this, you're going to have to be honest with yourself and also be able to tolerate what you're feeling and thinking. Because there may be some parts of it that are embarrassing of how you felt, but you've got to deal with those too. And as far as chocolate cake goes, here is something you like. So you have to restore your appreciation and open enjoyment of chocolate cakes again, without calling up embarrassing or painful or dangerous circumstances with it, which is this is a metaphor, of course, but it's very true. But that's how it's done. That part is done.